Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Monday the 17th of April 2017 and we're speaking with Brother Anthony. Hello Brother Anthony, long time no speak. Certainly as far as our subscribers are concerned. Where have you been?
Hello all. I'm sorry but recently I've been addressing a number of business matters and been rather tied up, to be honest.
Oh yes, and what have you been doing?
Well, I've been looking at new ways of maximising the profits of my property development business. Times have changed in the UK and new legislation and tax laws here have meant that I've had to re-evaluate my business model somewhat. Now, although this may not be completely relevant to our friends across the pond, some of the principles will fit a US model.
Okay, so to what are you referring?
Well, you may think I'm stating the obvious, but when you're being squeezed all around, you do have to open your mind to new ideas.
Such as?
Instead of increasing the amount of units I'm developing at the moment, I'm concentrating on quality, not quantity. I'm currently sourcing top quality materials and finishes for pennies via warehouses and auction sites.
Oh, really? So what does that mean in terms of profit and activity?
Well, let me give you an example. Currently, I'm sourcing quality tiles at £25 per square metre in the shops, and I'm picking them for just £3 a square metre. Now, what that means is I can afford to tile an entire bathroom rather than half a wall of a bathroom like my competitors. I'm buying £2,000 bathroom suites for 5% of the retail price. Now, that allows me to add top-end furniture to really put the icing on the cake when it comes to the finish of the development.
Oh, come on. 5% price of retail prices?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, how are you doing that? Come on.
Well, I'm actually getting £200 bars for £6. I'm purchasing showroom conservatories that have never been out of the showroom for £250 compared with the £15,000 if you were to buy from the showroom. The cost savings are enormous and the profit potential is equally as large. Once all these elements are brought together, I can offer a first-class property for the same price as a standard run-of-the-mill house. 10 out of 10 times, my properties will sell first, allowing me to increase my turnover at quite a rapid rate. I could wait and perhaps get even more money, but in my experience, turnover is the key.
Frankly, Brother Anthony, this sounds too good to be true.
Can you believe only last week I purchased a designer kitchen that hadn't been fitted for £3,000? And would you believe it if I was to tell you the retail cost of such a kitchen starts at £55,000, but is more likely in the hundreds of thousands of pounds. If your listeners would like to check this, the kitchen brand is called a Boffy, which is Bravo Oscar Foxtrot Foxtrot India, which is a high-end Italian designer kitchen and very sought after.
Well, obviously everyone's going to ask, where will they find such bargains?
Okay, well, for UK listeners, I'll be posting links to all my suppliers in the Inner Sanctum. Those in the States, unfortunately, will have to work a bit harder to source for themselves, but the principle's the same. Also, over the next few months, I'll be starting with the basics of property development, and with the more complicated and higher rewarding strategies, again, being discussed in the Inner Sanctum. Speaking of the Inner Sanctum, I'm sure our followers are all wondering, when's it going to be launched?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, and I'd love to answer it, but I'm afraid we're running out of time. No, seriously, Brother Anthony, we have been deluged with problems concerning websites. One would have thought it quite a simple activity just to set up a website, but we wanted to try and be technically clever and actually implant a site within the site so that there would be one port of call which could answer and deal with all of the features that we were planning on offering to our paid subscribers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to absolutely pack it with a whole range of features and benefits, sources, links, articles, videos. And when it is complete, we will actually then launch it to our subscribers because we want them to have the maximum value for the money that they will eventually pay. It would be easier just to launch a half service now, but to be frank, we want people to stay with us and to think it is excellent value for money. A bit like your kitchens, really, and your bathrooms. But having said that, in all seriousness, we're quite upset because this should have been launched months ago. Nevertheless, a good project, as you know, takes time, and the eventual outcome, we believe, will be well worth the visit. So you mentioned briefly that you will be developing a property course. Now, this is important because most of our listeners tune in really to discuss and to listen to issues concerning gold and silver investment, but also perhaps to make money too, or what to do with any surplus cash that they have. So clearly property is a means of investment, and I'd appreciate your comments on that.
As you're aware, I am a keen investor in property, especially rental properties that give you a 24/7, 365-day-a-year return. You make money when you're sleeping. You have a monthly return. I also spread my investment in precious metals as you do yourself, shares and other investments. However, property with me is very important. Now, we have your troughs and you have your bubbles. We might be due another bubble in the next 3 years. London prices are the highest they've ever been. Across the UK, they've peaked and they're on a little bit of a trough. However, property is what I know, and property is what I specialise in.
So, bearing in mind that you think perhaps the bubble might burst within the next 3 years, surely that's a sign that maybe people should avoid it.
Once the bubble comes, there's so much opportunity. We all know that the most millionaires are always made in a recession. All economies at the moment are fairly buoyant. Even the UK after Brexit is surprisingly buoyant. We both agree that the UK should survive Brexit and prosper. However, a lot is going to depend on how the confidence is come 2019, but I think that's another matter completely for another day.
Yes, it is. Well, Brother Anthony, you mentioned briefly the property course, and clearly this is something we really want our subscribers to benefit from. Can you just, before you go, just give us an indication of what would be included in that course, which would then be available free of charge to all of our Inner Sanctum members?
So I guess what you're looking for is a few spoilers of what's coming up.
Yes, please.
I think that's what they call them, spoilers. Just to whet your appetite, I've got a few topics here. See if you find them catchy. We've got Cash is King, hunting in packs,
right?
Below market value purchases or BMV purchases.
Yes.
Know your neighbourhood. Never overcommit. And the money man is your friend.
Ah. Well,
just a bit to wet your whistle there.
Sounds good. Where did you plagiarise it from?
Anyway, on that note, I'll say goodbye.
But this is based on your experience, is it, seriously?
Yes. A number of courses that I've sat on and I thought, what on earth are they talking about?
Yeah.
I know more than the people here. I'll share the experiences with our listeners.
Brother Anthony, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. And by the time the Inner Sanctum is open, do I have your solemn promise that the course will be ready for immediate upload?
I will not be a stranger.
Okay. Much obliged to you. Thank you once again.
Goodbye.
We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumb up and share it on Twitter. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe as a free member for regular email updates and offers. Our Facebook page, which is updated daily, can be found at facebook.com/illuminatisilver. Disclaimer. Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice, and merely represent the personal views